Rania, it is so great to see you. We always love your advice. And it's true, people are going to be hitting the road, taking trips this year, maybe a little different than in years past, because there are a lot of families out there who are still a little hesitant to take an airplane.
We were one of them, actually. We've had to fly this year during this COVID year, and it's scary. You don't know what you need to do, and especially have kids. So this summer, we're already hearing from people that are saying, I'm going to travel. We need to get out. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to fly the friendly skies. I'll be taking these road trips, which are great. But we're encouraging people to not get caught up in the fun and to remember all the safety aspects.
And let's go through that, because the most important thing, I think, too, if you're used to flying, traveling by car is a completely different experience, having all those safety things with you.
Yeah, one, of course, have your food and water, especially snacks for kids. That's a must. But make sure, check your car, your tires, make sure it's up to date in every aspect. Have your map, your route knowledge, you know exactly where you're going. I can't tell you how many families that I've talked to that have said, we went on our way, we went to Big Bend or through Colorado, and we didn't have Wi-Fi at some point. We couldn't connect to anything, so we didn't know where we were going. So map out your plan before you go, and then make sure if you're going to be driving, technology is in the car, but don't let it distract you. And especially if you have those younger drivers in the family, make sure that they have their eyes on the road.
It's great advice. It seems so basic, right? But car travel can be dangerous if you're not prepared. Let's talk about vaccinations and mask wearing. This is something that is still controversial, and people either choose to wear a mask or not, or get vaccinated or not. But you say know the rules for the places where you're visiting.
Absolutely. Of course, it's your choice whether or not you want to wear a mask personally or get vaccinated. But when you go to an establishment, whether you're getting on a flight, going to a hotel, going to a restaurant, whatever, an art gallery, each place has its own rules, and you absolutely have to follow them. There can be criminal charges if you don't. So we're encouraging people to make sure, if you're very uncomfortable or you have strong convictions on how you want to handle this, know the rules of the destination you're going to, the entity you'll be visiting, so you don't have any problems.
And let's face it, Rania, there's a lot of families who are now going to be going back into the office. And so maybe their kids are home or they're in summer camps. Let's talk about this topic of Uberization of drugs, because it's in the headlines and it's one of those things that you hear about, but don't be too quick to judge like, oh, that doesn't happen in my house, because it can happen to anyone.
We just had Dr. Laura Berman not too long ago on our podcast, and she lost her 16-year-old son, Sammy, while he was sitting in their home in California. He only needed a cell phone. That's all he needed to get a 15-cent pill sent to his front door. Kids can get access to alcohol, drugs, pills, counterfeit pills, and in a drop of a hat in seconds. And a lot of these apps have GPS tracking devices, so the dealer can easily find where your child is and make delivery very, very simple. The problem is that not only are you introducing a child to things that they should not consume, but some of these pills are laced with fentanyl, and one little pill is taking the lives of children across this country. So we're urging parents to just know that this is happening. And if you have only one conversation with your family this year, please actually let it be this one, because too many kids are dying. The parents don't know what's happening, and the kids certainly don't know what they're ingesting.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. Rania, a couple more points to hit before we let you go. Pool safety. This is a huge issue every single year.
It's one that's very heartbreaking. You hear about these toddlers that just wandered off and fell in the pool. Have a plan. Have a family talk. That includes everybody in the family, from your youngest child who can comprehend what the rules are. All of you have a duty to watch the little ones, to make sure that there's no option for them to inadvertently fall into the pool. Think about physical changes that need to be made in the home, whether it's door locks, doorbells, gates, alarms, and make sure that those are implemented. That's a critical conversation as well.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about camp safety and the conversations that we need to have, not only with our children, but the people that are running these camps.
Yeah, not enough parents think about the safety of their kids in camp when it comes to things we don't want to think about, like sexual assault of children. And trust me, we don't want to think about it, but we've personally studied it, and there have been thousands and thousands of cases across camps across this country. Camps operate under a different rule, unfortunately, different than schools and daycare facilities, and it's time that we changed that. We started it, but we're encouraging parents to ask about the counselors, who they are, what the ratio counselor to child, how kids can report, talk to your kids about what they should report, and ask your camp if they've had any issues in the past. Up until this last session in Texas, you didn't have to have a reporting mechanism for this type of assault on a camp, and we needed to change that. We did.
And Rania Mankarious, we got to leave it there, but one final reminder that when it comes to cars, never leave animals or children in cars. Those internal temperatures skyrocket during the summer months. Thanks so much for your advice.
Thank you for having me, guys. See you.